In today's tutorial, you are going to learn how to turn some garbage into something pretty. So this is just an old bottle, and I'm going to be spraying the outside with a black spray paint. Obviously you want to do that outdoors. And you just want to make sure it's good and dry, and it is the perfect application. So super smooth, no brush lines or anything like that. So I just like to use spray paint. And so we're going to be using homemade tools for today's project because I know that a lot of us are completely struggling, and maybe you don't have a set of dotting tools, and I'm just here to show you you don't necessarily need a full set of dotting tools, at least not for starting out. Let's get your feet wet. So I've got a large pencil and I've got a regular size pencil, and we're going to be making some tools with just like regular basic household items that you probably already have. This is a cotton swab. So on one end, I take all the cotton off, and on the other end, I just dip it in some, I don't know, multi-surface paint, something like that, something that'll get hard and be able to withstand, some usage. So I'm going to just use the one cotton swab. And then on the other end, I'm going to put a little bit of paint just to hold down any fuzzies. And this is just acrylic paint, non-toxic. And you just want to let that dry. So I did kind of flatten out the end too. I didn't mention that part. You do want to kind of flatten out the ends. So you've got 3 sizes there. And then I'm going to take a toothpick and I'm going to break it in half. I mean, you can, do this however you want, but I just break one in half, and I'm going to use some sandpaper to get a good flat round end there, right in the middle of the toothpick. So that'll be another size. That's one step down from the stick part of the cotton swab. And then on the pointy part of the toothpick, I'm just going to dull it down just a little bit so the dots aren't teeny, teeny, tiny. So it's a little bit of a step down. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then see how it's a little bit smaller, and then 6. So you have 6 different homemade tools. So this is Deco Art Americana Gloss Enamel Paints. It is a multi-surface acrylic paint. And it will actually be able to be baked on once it's cured for a couple days. You can bake it onto glass or ceramics, and it will become one with the object, so you don't have to worry about it rinsing away. I love this paint. It's definitely one of my very favorites. I'm just going to be doing a rainbow. You can absolutely do this with whatever colors you want to use. I thought some fall colors would be nice, or some metallics would be really pretty, but I'm just going to go with rainbow because I always love rainbow. So I'm using the largest pencil eraser, and you just want to dip it in paint, make sure that the end of it is good and coated all the way. And you just make your first big center dot. So now I'm taking the smallest tool, which is the little pointy toothpick part, and just make dots going all the way around it, as close as you can get to the biggest dot without them touching. Obviously, if they touch, it's not the end of the world. You can clean up this paint with another damp cotton swab, twirl the paint up and away, and you're good to go. So that is the middle part of the toothpick, and you just go make another ring around. So you're making rings of dots that are just getting larger and larger. This is the stick part of the cotton swab. And you do want to use the paper sticks of the cotton swabs, not the ones with the plastic sticks, because they just don't really work as well. And then you can see how you can just kind of blot it off and just dab it on a wet rag, and it will, be good to use for the next color. And the same with the cotton end. You would think, oh, you're not going to be able to use that very much. But actually, you would be surprised. I did this whole entire bottle with that same one cotton swab. So this is the regular size pencil eraser. And I was, thinking about making dots that, just another row. But I was like, well, I don't really want the design to get real big. So I just kind of start dotting everywhere because I kind of want these to look like they're exploding. Like each little mandala is going to be exploding into the next color. So I'm going to fill up the whole bottle with different color exploding mandalas. So this is the red paint, and I'm just using the pencil still to kind of fill out as much of the room as I can with some big dots. I mean, not crazy packed, but you'll get the idea as you see here. And then I'm going to size down with the next size down of tool, which is the cotton end, and just fill it out. And then I switch down to the paper stick part, and you can just dot, I think you can usually do maybe 2 or 3, and then redip it in paint and then dot a couple more. Eventually, if you keep trying to dot, it'll run completely out of paint, and then it won't be like a dot. It'll just look like a little speck. It'll look weird. And then I'm going to go down to the very smallest tool and just fill in as much as you can there, or as much as you want. And then that's it. So that little side is done. And this paint does dry relatively quick. I mean, you can walk away and come back in, 10 or so minutes, 15 minutes, something like that. And it'll probably be dry for you. I went ahead and marked out just to kind of eyeball some spots where I think they will fit, according to the size of the red one. And I later take off some of those. I mean, I still use about the same area, but I just kind of moved it around, and I did switch colors out probably too. So same process here with the orange. And again, once you get to the regular size pencil, just go ahead and start putting them like randomly around the little mandala that is actually symmetrical. And then again, same thing. So I just use the cotton end, and then I use the stick end, and then I use the toothpick, and just fill it out as much as you want, or as little as you want. This is totally your project. You can do it however you want to do it. There is no right and there is no wrong. It's art, and you just do whatever you want to do. I wasn't in love with that particular orange, but I do love this color. It's called Vivid Violet, and it's lovely. And just filling it in. And I just thought it looked so neat. It kind of looks like bubbles in a glass, almost, if you would. Like a champagne bubbly glass. See how those are all dry, and I wanted those to dry before I rotate the bottle, because I'm going to have to handle those areas in order to paint the other side. So I just measured out how big each one was, in general. I wasn't being too critical with myself here. With if the dots touched, I was not, I mean, if it was real bad, smeared or touched, or not round, like if I slid a little bit, because it's glass surface, so your tool can slide a little bit, so you want to go pretty slow. But anyway, if it was real bad, I would clean it up. If it wasn't that terrible, I just leave it, because the overall design, like, it's so busy that you're not going to notice two dots touching, two tiny dots touching. So don't be hard on yourself. Just keep pushing forward. And by the end of the project, you're going to absolutely love it. Also, this is a project that is good for beginners. Like if if you're new to dot art, this project works out well because you get that practice in making several mandalas. You get to practice your symmetry if you haven't done that yet, because this step is actually important. Typically, if I weren't being so, just kind of willy-nilly here about the initial design, typically I try to be very precise with those first couple rings of dots that are around the center dot, because it is hugely important. Typically, I just wanted to show you there was just a little bit of some dots that just didn't look right to me. So super easy to fix. You just go in with a damp cotton swab, swipe the paint up and away, and then just redot it. No big deal. So it's not the end of the world. All right. And again, just teeny tiny dots, fill them in. Hey, if you're having a hard time right now, I think a lot of people are, know that you're not alone. it's tough times. There's no doubt about it. And it'll get better. You know, it always does. There's always highs and lows. And when you're in a low, just wait because it's going to go back up. It always does. It really, really does. So just painting dots is great to take your mind off of things. I don't know if you guys can hear. I don't know if my microphone is picking up. There's a train close by. So if you hear it blowing its whistle, I do apologize. So, and then we're going in with a different purple. And that is the last one for this particular bottle. So here it is, all the way finished. And I hope you absolutely love it. And if you do, please give this video a thumbs up. And please leave me a comment and let me know what you want to see in future videos. Thank you so much for watching. See ya!